On a cold January evening in Glasgow, around 90 people have gathered under Hielanman's umbrella, COVID masks and sanitiser at hand, queuing up for what may be their first and only meal of the day. It's Friday night, it's 3 degrees outside, and the Homeless Project Scotland is serving food to anyone who needs it.
Homeless Project Scotland is a fairly new charity. It was started in October 2019, basically with a couple of people just going around the streets of Glasgow with backpacks filled with flasks of hot tea and coffee.
Homeless Project Scotland received charitable status in June 2020 and since then have used grants and funding to extend their services well beyond their Glasgow soup kitchen.
Because the soup kitchen wasn't on, we were able to look at developing and changing our services. So at that point we developed a telephone helpline, which is a 24-hour helpline, whereas if you find yourself experiencing homeless, you suddenly lost your place to stay, your sofa surfing or whatever, if you phone us, we then have a link to the councils and you can negotiate with them to get anyone into temporary accommodation with a view to a more permanent accommodation.
At the start of the COVID pandemic, the Scottish Government set aside £350 million to help those most affected. The funding was for charities, including those working with rough sleepers and people who are homeless, to help them to support people most in need. Rough sleeping in both Glasgow and Edinburgh was almost eradicated within days at the start of the lockdown after emergency hotel rooms were provided. But not everyone was able to access the help available. By the end of March 2020, almost 12,000 households were in temporary accommodation, including 15,711 children.
At the beginning of the lockdown, we were living in an Airbnb, so we phoned the council to ask them, me, my wife and our little son, who was 7 at the time, to see what they could do to help us. And basically they said to us, well, maybe you should go and stay in a hostel, with it's just, a hostel's just not the place for a 7-year-old.
The future is uncertain for the homeless and insecurely housed of Scotland. Many are unsure of when and if the measures put in place to assist them at the beginning of this pandemic will be rolled back.
1,000 meals to various hostels and hotels all over the Glasgow area. I would say the majority are not all rough sleepers. They are probably living in temporary or poor substandard accommodation hostels and hotels. COVID's had some good advantages to people, some upsides as well as the bad. I think it has made people look at the provision for homeless and vulnerable people, but whether that continues, who knows?